talk about influencer marketing, which is a happy trend that happens in user acquisition. So my name is Dmitry, and why I'm here, why I'm talking about this here. Because Zorka.Agency is an agency that created a branch in its service offerings that makes native integrations with YouTubers worldwide, and this way we help our clients, who are usually game developers, to reach wider audience and to get ROI positive campaigns. Well, we have been in influencer marketing campaigns for the past year and a half, or maybe like 15 months. We have run plenty of them. We have a team of 8 people right now, and just for you to consider, it started with just one person. We do it worldwide, as I said, and we have a database which is quite small. I still consider that having like 3,000 influencers that we have touched base with or we have somehow cooperated with is kind of low, so we are growing it fast. Well, why influencer marketing? Because we are tired of ads. We have this ad blindness. The CTRs dropped. Well, we have seen it in the past years. You have also seen the rise of the ad block, and you understand that the competition that fights in traditional channels, that exists in traditional channels, makes your life harder. So that's why YouTube, which is a channel where you have celebrities that can talk to their audience who listens to them, and they can suggest them doing something like downloading an app and getting some fun out of it. And actually people are listening to that, and actually it works because the ROI that is generated through that campaigns is considerably higher. Well, and that's why half of the marketers in this year will invest in their YouTube strategy. How does this help mobile games? Well, it brings you additional awareness. It brings you long tail installs because the video can be watched for many years after it's been released. It also helps you to address the burnout of traffic sources. And there is almost no fraud there. Almost, because I will tell you what kind of fraud you can encounter there. It also helps you produce content, because it's not like you have your own production team, but you also have a YouTuber who knows how to burn with his message to his audience and make it much more productive. Well, there is slight thing, minor negative thing about analytics, and several companies are trying to address this issue as well as we are. However, we'll talk about that a bit later. So, what is the success of influencer marketing campaign? It's absolutely about management of this campaign, and there are several important things for you to consider. So you need to know who pays most in your games. You need to have your core audience, and then you have to consider the channel's audience, and you try to match them so you get the most out of the native placement in a particular YouTube channel. So for that, you need to have exact analytic. You need to have the exact data of the channel. It's not so easy to do. Sometimes YouTubers provide this data. The MCNs that YouTubers usually work with, they have this data and they can provide it to you. However, if you approach the YouTuber directly, at times you can get the data which is not relevant. And this is about the fraud. As I mentioned, at the very rise of Zorka influencer marketing service, we had this case when we approached a YouTuber who showed us a screenshot with 70% of T1 audience. Once we launched the campaign with him, we got 95% of Indians. Well, it was a fail. We learned from it. Now we have this data stream which is absolutely relevant and absolutely accurate and up to date. Thing is that it's not so easy to reach influencers at all. Not all of them like to answer on your first email. They You have to contact them. You have to know how to contact them. You have to make it in their own language. You have to write that this is kind of paid advertisement, because usually they receive tons of letters from the advertisers who don't want to pay, but they offer them something, not money. Well, money works better. Well, you need to take into consideration your monetization model, because the YouTuber, he can show to his audience, and he can just, somehow promote the way of getting more fun or getting more value out of the game in a specific way. So he says, like, invest this amount of money or use this tracking link, which will give you like free ammo, free gold, or free weapons, so you can have more fun. There are also some particularities about local markets, and I will touch that a bit later. Well, and the thing we would love to underline is that there are certain top names that charge a lot. They are hard to work with. In comparison, we have found YouTubers that are, let's say, second in place, or just below the top ones, who love to do more than they usually do, because the number of requests that they get is considerably lower compared to those top YouTubers. So that's why we are saying do not waste money. No, it's more like invest more into second names. As for them, once you have contacted the YouTuber and you have this dialogue starting up, and you have to somehow brief him and to give him this creative task to do the shooting, to do the footage, well, please be aware, limit your creativity to a certain level, so it's easy to do, so he understands the idea, and he makes it like very easy, simple, short, and effective. Like an integration of 30 to 60 seconds, showing the gameplay, doing some incentivation, like here you can win, just use the tracking link, get ammo, will work. Well, also, personal attitude of the YouTuber plays a major role. So when he's like, involved into the game, when he shows that he has his character inside the game, when he invites the audience to play with him, it gives a lot better result. And of course, these attractive in-app bonuses for the new users, as I mentioned, they do rise the conversion rates a lot. Well, I have a couple of videos from Pixonic and Game Insight integrations, but I would love to show them at the end of my speech, just to make this thing coherent, connected. Well, for example, if you're based in Russia or you're based in Europe and you would love to run a T1 campaign, most of the YouTubers are located in the United States. So in order to work with them, we almost run a 24/7 service. So we have this team of 8 people, and sometimes they do night shifts because you have to be online when you need to address particular issues that might arise with the YouTuber. Because there are certain technical things they might not understand about tracking links, for example. They might just put a video that will they might put a link that will lead a user directly to the App Store. No tracking, no understanding of the efficiency. Well, you just spend some money and you don't know how it worked. So, and you also have to check that tracking link, of course. And you have to be very, very responsive, so to make sure that the campaigns run very fast. We do have gathered lots of data, and that's why we have the ability to forecast the outcomes of the campaigns, like the negative, the positive outcomes, the CTRs. So usually before you start this with us, you will see how much installs you will get and how much views you will get, and maybe if you will share that info, you will understand how much money you will get out of that campaign as well. As for the tracking of the organic uplift, so you understand that when Artem Petkov from Pixonic was mentioning yesterday that a certain number of installs they just fall into organic, and you don't understand which particular YouTuber made this impact. Well, there is no answer to that at this particular moment. We think that on top of the tracking link installs, 20 to 70% on top of that, they go into organic. How you distribute that between this number of installs, how you distribute between YouTubers that participated in your campaign, is up to you. Pixonic does that equally. Well, you may try to do that proportionally, depending on the number of views. Well, it's up to you. Well, if the YouTuber had not worked, well, maybe he was the wrong one. So his target audience was not, let's say, convinced about the product he was advertising. It might happen. Sadly, it happens. Well, if we go deep into regional particularities, English-speaking countries, great market, great prices, I mean, big ones. Great split between the devices, so you have a large portion, like equal split between the iOS and Android devices. The traffic distribution usually falls, like 80% of that traffic of those YouTube channels falls under Tier 1, so the audience from Tier 1 countries, like 80% is there, up to 90 even. As for working with the YouTubers, well, they are very formal. So you have to consider everything before signing an agreement with them. And, well, because if you would love to change something after you have agreed on something, well, it will not be easy to do it. It's almost impossible to do. But they strictly follow all the preliminary agreements. They are quite pricey in terms of 100K views, several $1,000s, but good to work with. They usually do not disappear after agreeing on working with you. And this is kind of important because if you get a response like 3 days before the campaign, a message comes, my dog has died, my granny is in the hospital. I mean, it's not so easy to overcome such things. Well, as for Russia, we started with CIS. It still plays an important role in our campaigns, and we have lots of data about that market. Quite reliable, reasonable pricing. You may even consider that being cheap. They do not disappear most of the times. Well, they are highly flexible in negotiations. So if you have a nice agreement that fits both of you, you will have this YouTuber do your campaign, and he will do a lot more than you have asked from him. They will change the brief, they will reshoot the footage. So they want to earn money. As for the traffic distribution, keep in mind, so if you are trying to conquer Russia and you do influencer marketing campaign on YouTube, please make sure that the app is also present in the local Russian-speaking countries. Because Belarus, Ukraine, population of these countries also watches YouTube, and usually they watch the same channels as Russians do. If we go to Latin America, we have made several flights there. We didn't like it a lot because they really easily answer to your requests. They want to do something with you, but they cheat a lot. So they might disappear. They ask you for prepayment, and then they disappear. Not all of them, of course, but quite a few. And as for the traffic distribution, you will get like 30% of Spain if you do an integration with a Latin American YouTuber. We love Netherlands. It's a great country to do like test flight campaigns, because it's a small market. It has really clean traffic. The prices are affordable. The guys are reliable. They are very flexible. They do love to cooperate. Well, compared to India, guys, you have these Bollywood stars there that run those channels with extremely high prices. We have not done anything there, so not much to talk about. As for the Germany, also great market, but considerably higher pricing because they are very formal. They would love to run formal contracts with you, and so you will have additional costs on the taxes there. And we think there is a price fixing between YouTubers there, so you get the same price almost out from everyone, so you cannot like balance there. However, the audience is quite good. Another example of our integration, but let's go to the sweetest part, the numbers. The average performance of the campaigns. If we compare Europe to the United States, the rates are usually like 2 times lower. And you can get really positive results in Europe as well. So consider that region a part of your influencer marketing campaign. Another slide, I believe everybody has made photos if they wanted to. Okay, finishing. All right, another one. As for MMOs and match 3 games, not so much data because we haven't run those campaigns in Europe and Latin America, but you can see the results for the US and Russian market as well. There is a tip there which says, well, yeah, if you have some high cost in other channels, just do not consider influencer marketing to be a silver bullet. Try it carefully. Maybe it's not working as well. So what I would love to underline, it's not that easy to do. We have invested lots of time and energy into making this running an effective business which our clients love. However, we also see the trend that clients would love to place their influencer marketing departments in-house. It might work for you if you plan this long term and if you're going to invest lots of time in there, and if you are okay with burning some money ineffectively. However, if you plan to just dive in, try it with an agency because it's cheaper and it's faster and it has much more predictable results. Do not overpay for the top influencer names, so compare the prices of the second ones. It's important to talk to the YouTubers in their own language. Give them the creative material so they understand the message of the game better and so they deliver that message to their audience also better. And be, careful between this creativity and efficiency, so make it simple, make it short, make it working. Analyze, try, so make it a test flight, and then scale it up. And I hope it works for you. In all other cases, you may contact us. Thank you very much for your attention. I welcome your questions.
Thank you.